Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Gerald Peplow, and especially a shout out to my students out there. Right now we're in lockdown because of coronavirus, and I want to go out and give them a chance to have something to do, and one of them is to read. Well, this book is called Guardians of the Straits, and it was written by Tyler Benson. He is a seaman in the Coast Guard that I met in Yorktown, and he works with my son Gerald Peplow. But I thought it'd be fun if I gave you guys something to focus on while we're going on here, and be careful, there might be some questions from this book when I see you online next time. So let's get started. The Guardians of the Strait by Tyler Benson. This is part of the Adventures of Onyx series. And here it is, there's the title page, you know what the title page is for. It tells us all about the story. This is dedicated to my daughters, Olivia, Jean, Annie, Elizabeth, and Charlotte Marie, and to all the Coastie kids. I hope this story and many of the stories to come will help you feel a little closer to your dad and mom when they are away serving and protecting this great nation. And I hope that these adventures of Onyx will teach you the same core values that the Coast Guard teaches us: honor, respect, and devotion to duty. One rainy evening, a homeless dog, lost and without a purpose, wandered into the grounds of a Coast Guard station in St. Ignace, Michigan. She was looking for shelter from the cold rain. She walked to the docks where a Coast Guard boat was tied up and found an open hatch. The wet dog climbed aboard the boat and settled comfortably into the rescue department. Suddenly, alarm sounded. The hair on the dog's neck raised up as she looked around for the source of the sound. 4 people quickly came aboard. They were the members of the United States Coast Guard. Dean, the lead coastie, told the other crew members about the freighter that was in trouble. An 800-foot freighter passing through the Straits of Mackinac has 2 injured crew members aboard, Dean said. A medical evacuation has been requested. Take your positions. The other coasties agreed with a united aye aye. Aye aye, that's saying yes. The boat launched into action, the siren sounded, and the Coast Guard motor lifeboat headed into Lake Huron with the dog still on board. He's still down there in the hold, they don't know he's there. Soon after, Hogan went into the compartment where the dog was hiding to get the emergency medical kit prepared. Seeing the man, the frightened dog backed further under the seat. As Hogan prepared the kit, an oxygen tank slipped from his hands and rolled next to the dog's paw. Hogan saw the dog and jumped back in surprise. "Where did you come from?" he asked. Very nice picture of one of the ships here. Just then, Evans entered the compartment and found Hogan with the dog. "Hogan," Evans said, "what is that dog doing on board?" "I don't know," Hogan said. "I found her hiding in here when I came to get our rescue equipment." "Well, secure that dog," Evans said, "and get ready. The freighter is closer than we thought. It's just off the Mackinac Bridge, and we have an estimated arrival time of 10 minutes. Imagine those people out there in that ship just waiting for help. Hogan petted the nervous dog and told her, "You stay here, girl. I'll be right back." Up on deck, Pelkey spotted the freighter. "There it is," she shouted. "Starboard side." As the Coast Guard boat came alongside the freighter, Pelkey got on the radio. "Motor vessel Pride of the Lakes. Motor vessel Pride of the Lakes," Pelkey called to the freighter. "This is the United States Coast Guard. Prepare your injured crewmen for transfer." Dean yelled over the wind and ran to Evans and Hogan's on the bow. "Here we go, gentlemen. By the book." By the book means follow directions, do it right. The men aboard the freighter frantically prepared for the transfer. They slipped and slid on the deck as they strapped their injured shipmates into stretchers. Then they carefully lowered the first injured man from the freighter deck to the coasties waiting on the rescue boat below. Despite the wind and rain, the first transfer went smoothly. Can you imagine that, just having to drop this guy down off the side onto the boat in the middle of this weather? As the second injured crewman was being transferred, the boat was slammed by a powerful wave. The Coast Guard boat and the freighter crashed against each other violently. Just then, lightning flashed and thunder boomed. The startled men of the freighter accidentally dropped the stretcher, and the second injured man fell helplessly into the sea. "Man overboard!" Hogan yelled. "Prepare for recovery," Dean yelled back. Pelkey ran down to the main deck to prepare for a waterside pickup. So this guy's bobbing around in the ocean right now, and he's also in a stretcher. He can't swim. Hogan and Evans quickly took the first injured crewman down below where he would be safer. "You stay here," Hogan said. "What about my shipmate?" the injured crewman yelled. "Don't worry, sir," Evans said. "We'll save him." Hogan and Evans quickly ran back outside. Inside the compartment, the dog watched. She heard the man yell, "Oh no, he's strapped in and face down." Okay, so there he is, strapped in, can't swim, bobbing in the water. Luckily, he's floating. Well, not luckily, because the Coast Guard puts floats on those. They're always ready for this kind of stuff. Always ready. The man suddenly saw the dog and made eye contact with her. Tears began to roll down his scared, worried, injured crew member's face. He wanted to help, but he was helpless. "My shipmate's in trouble," he said to the dog. "My friend is in trouble." The dog watched it all. She saw the fear. She heard the screams. Suddenly, something inside her ignited. It burned like fire. A sensation she had never felt before washed over her. She felt a sense of greater purpose, a sense of servitude, a sense of something important and larger than herself. She knew what she needed to do. She was no longer a lost dog. She was a dog with a newfound purpose. The dog sprinted for the ladder. Now this is the point here. Instead of being a victim, she decided to be a hero. As the Coast Guard boat was approaching the injured man in the water, the dog saw the overturned stretcher. Seeing the dog on deck, Hogan yelled, "What are you doing out here, girl? Get back down below where it's safe." Just then the dog let out a loud, confident bark and selflessly leapt into the heavy seas. With all of her might, she swam for the man. She swam as hard as she could. She swam until it burned her muscles. She swam through the howling wind and the cold sea. Fear didn't stand in her way. A newfound bravery pushed her through. The Coasties watched the dog swim on, only so another may live. And that's their motto, so others may live. The dog finally made it to the man in the heavy seas. The waves dunked the man's head up and down, up and down. He looked over and saw the dog. Cold and in shock, he yelled to her, "Help me, dog! Please, please help me!" The dog put her paws on the capsized stretcher and swam with all of her might. She pushed and she pushed and she pushed until a miracle happened. The dog righted the stretcher, saving the man from trouble. The dog stayed with the man as the Coast Guard boat came alongside. The Coasties quickly reached overboard and pulled the man and the dog on board. The exhausted dog couldn't even stand up. Pelkey and Evans quickly took the injured man down below, where his relieved shipmate was waiting. Hogan wrapped the dog in a blanket, picked her up in his arms, and headed to the back of the boat. He dropped his knees and looked at the miracle dog that he held in his arms. "Ha ha!" Dean yelled from the driver's chair. "I don't know where that dog came from, but thank goodness for her." Hogan looked up at Dean. "Onyx," he told him. "Onyx. Her name is Onyx. She is now a guardian like one of us." "I believe it," Dean said. The Coast Guard boat headed for the station. I looked this up, by the way, and there's morale dogs like this everywhere in the Coast Guard and other units. Back on deck, Pelkey dropped to her knees and started petting the wet dog. The station has been looking for a good morale dog, and this hero may be just what we are looking for. Hogan stood up and Onyx stood beside him. The rain was letting up. The seas were laying down. Laying down means that everything's getting calm. Hogan put a small orange life jacket on Onyx and adjusted the straps. Then he cut the excess strap off and put it around her neck, making a collar. "There," he said, "perfect. Now you look like a true Coast Guard morale dog." Pelkey smiled and nodded her head. agreeing as she headed up the ladder to the bridge to take her seat next to Dean. Dean nodded to Pelkey and said, "Onyx, huh? I like that." Dean looked forward. The storm had passed and the rising morning sun was breaking through the clouds. Fair winds and following seas had come to the morning Straits of Mackinac. "All right, you guys," he yelled out. "Secure the deck. We're heading home." "Coming up!" Coming up means that they're bringing the engines up to move forward. Dean put the throttles down and steered the Coast Guard boat for home, to the sunrise. It is a new day. It is a new beginning, for today begins the Adventures of Onyx and the Guardians of the Straits. I'm going to read about Tyler Benson, one of our heroes out there. Great Lakes author Tyler Benson is from St. Louis, Michigan. He has served the United States Coast Guard for more than a decade in the St. Ignace, Michigan. He began writing short stories about his search and rescue adventures in the Coast Guard to educate his 3 daughters about what Daddy does when he goes on duty for 48 hours at a time. He wanted his daughters to learn the importance of service to their country and helping those in need. To help his daughters better understand his job, Tyler wrote the stories featuring his real station's morale dog, Oynx. These stories soon evolved into a dream. The dream would be a tribute and a way to bring recognition to all who serve or have served in the United States Coast Guard. Tyler welcomes all who join his family, friends, station, shipmates, and Oynx as they get underway. A storm is on the horizon. A hero will arise. This is really, really a great book, and I'm really happy that I got a chance to read it with you. Now, guys, go out there and be like Onyx. Don't lose your cookies, keep it together, and you will prevail.